We gotta get into like a token prettiness war here.
Yes.
Is it?
Well, obviously you're gonna win that, Aaron.
I was about to ask, is this a democracy?
I'm
'Cause
actually making my beautiful, pretty, fantastic token right now.
That's fine. I just will say though, I actually, if you double click on your tokens, I know not all of you are familiar with map tools. It actually pulls up a little edit token screen where you can attach like notes to things that you might want to quickly remember. On the properties tab, I've set up an array of not all of the Vampire the Masquerade attributes, abilities, skills, talents, and various other things, but I've set up some, and as a matter of fact, the health, blood pool, humanity, and willpower will actually display outside of the edit token screen. So if you put in like say 7 out of 7 health, whenever you mouse over your token, it should actually pop up for you. Although I probably have to give you all ownership of your tokens first before you can edit them.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I was wondering.
Yeah, I was wondering that too.
I might cut that out of the recording. Don't need to share that.
You're just testing us.
Just hide all faults.
I was just testing to make sure that strict token ownership was applied, so you weren't like taking, say, fucking Theo Bell or whatever and going, wee!
I think there's only one person here who would do that, and that's myself.
Alright, you all have your ownership now. And as a test of the mouse over thing at work, I dragged an example token onto the map there, Renaissance Wharf. When you mouse over him, it gives you a better picture of him and health. You know, you can put in whatever numbers you want to down there and it'll just display whenever it's moused over the token.
I was about to say, is Worf in our game now?
No, Michael Dorn is sitting this one out. I just wanted to give you all a little demonstration of how it would look. And I can make more of the attributes appear for you guys. I can make all of them appear. I can also include a comprehensive list of abilities, skills, talents, disciplines, backgrounds, the virtues. If you all find that to be inadequate. You don't have to put anything in those little boxes at all if you don't want to. It was just an idea of if it's more convenient for you guys to do so. Certainly the health stuff and the blood pool is going to be pretty useful.
We have 7 health boxes, correct?
You sure do, unless you took that merit that has made you so massive that you have an additional bruised health box, I think.
Big as fuck.
Makes you like 6'10", like 300-ish. Like 380-ish pounds, I think. Something like that.
Makes you fucking swole, man.
I took that in a WOD game once, except I was a woman.
Oh dear. Baby got back.
Ha.
I've also named your little NPCs. Of course, Byron there, Crip, took care of the retainer, Evelyn O'Malley. Your ally, the Deputy Inspector, who is the Precinct Chief of Astoria, the 114th Precinct, his name is Mikhail Vargas. The police contact is Ken Reese. Newspaper contact is Bridget Starr. And the gunrunner is Match, or the Matchmaker, for he gives guns good homes with people. I thought about using a Voldemort picture for you, and I was like, no, that would just be too... He would expect that. Let's make him uglier.
Do you have flowers around your picture?
Isn't it just beautiful?
Yes.
Oh god.
Why, you got a problem with that?
He's a nonconformist. Fucking Nazi. And since these are all your allies and contacts and retainers, I'll go ahead and show you the tokens for these guys. Say hello to the gang.
Okay, yeah, Evelyn's pretty perfect, I think.
I thought the picture would be fitting enough. I was like, non-attractive redhead. Man, this is hard.
Just find a ginger.
Well, it's not that she's unattractive. It's just that she's that mousy girl that, you know.
Right, she doesn't try to be attractive.
Yeah, didn't you see that movie, She's All That or whatever? You know, the cliche.
She's all that or whatever. No.
I don't know. I had a whole bunch of those in the 90s or whatever.
Right. So that's your ally at the top, and then the retainer, and then your three contacts down at the bottom. Of course, Match is pretty goddamn obviously a vampire. It's a thing. Okay. In that case, then, I suppose we'll go ahead and get started with your little intro. Alright. It is a world of dark... No, that's already been used before. January 4th, 1998. New York City. The concrete jungle where dreams are made of, with redemption for sale at every newsstand and boutique. The lifeblood of America, if not the world, pulses through the Big Apple's veins. And beneath the glamour and glitz, beneath the soot and grime, rests raw power begging to be harnessed. There is opportunity within the newly acquired gem of the Camarilla, the ivory tower that deigns to lord over all kindred. Prince Calibros abdicated his position just 2 weeks ago, retiring to the sewery home of the Nosferatu, and the abruptness of this decision has created a true struggle for supremacy. No sires to loom disapprovingly over their children, no primogen to stifle quick ascension. New York City is full of new immigrants, neonates from all over, pursuing their ambitions with an unnatural fervor. It seems some things never really change. It's 5:17 a.m. The air is bitter, with a light dusting of snow falling from the sky. Astoria's not the prettiest place in Queens, and a far cry from the skyscrapers just across the East River, but it possesses its own charm, and it's home to many. More specifically, it's the domain of four kindred, neonates who have shucked the natural selfishness of kindred, banding together for their own inscrutable purposes. One of these vampires, Marcus Paulson, is making his way back to his haven after a Saturday night well spent. What does Marcus do on his Saturday nights?
The question is, am I fresh from a gig? Or...
You most certainly can be.
Well, I'm assuming it's a Saturday night, so... I probably had a gig with whatever band I'm temping in, or what, yeah.
Okay. Fine, of course, 5:17 a.m. Dawn's not that far off, so it would be time for whatever after party to finally conclude there.
And for me to get my butt to the haven so I don't die in the sun.
You got like an hour, maybe 2 if you stretch. It's winter. Yeah, you're okay.
I mean, maybe it'll be cloudy this morning.
That's right, Marcus is making his way back to his haven after a Saturday night well spent, which is now bled, of course, into Sunday morning. But this early Sunday morning, there are 2 things that catch the Toreador's eye. Parked by the entrance to his haven, what was it, A rundown apartment building complex, was that right, Jordan?
Yes, correct.
It's parked by the entrance to the complex is a beat-up 1977 blue Chevrolet truck. Propped against the passenger side, his feet on the curb, is a handsome black man wearing a leather jacket, denim jeans, and a New York Yankees cap. At Marcus's approach, the imposing figure shifts his head toward the toreador, staring through police-style sunglasses.
Mr. Bell, what do I have the honor? Why do I have the honor of making your?
Yeah.
Why do I? For what purpose do I have the honor of meeting you tonight?
Indeed, it has been a year since your character has seen him, and the last time you did, there was a semi-automatic shotgun involved. But, the tall, dark figure, he's even taller than Marcus, and there are few people who can claim to be that. He is the renowned and feared Archon Theo Bell, who, upon your approach, actually, he stares at you from behind his police-style sunglasses, which you still aren't entirely sure how he can see through those just fine in the dark. He says, Marcus, I knew you wouldn't keep me waiting. It's worth noting, what you know, both from your time spent under Theo Bell as well as your, just rumors, because he's such a popular and feared person, is that, he is quite the stoic. That's not to say that he's incapable of expressing emotion, but he tends to be incredibly polite to people. Unless you're Sabat, or an Anarch, or a Taucus. If you're Camarilla, though, you're good.
Keep you waiting. Was I supposed to meet with you tonight? Because if I was, I'm sorry, I did not know.
No, you definitely did not have a meeting. As a matter of fact, you didn't even know that he knew where you lived. Because, it's not like a thing you publicize, your haven location. At any rate, after he acknowledges you and your character stands there a bit in confusion, he immediately jumps into his point. You've got neighbors. There's some new blood in the city. 4 of them in total who are suspected Sabbat, though my contact, and he frowns, couldn't confirm this. They crossed over from Jersey City 2 nights ago, and they're lairing somewhere up in Steinway, in a warehouse district near LaGuardia Airport. Which I will actually reveal on the map to you. Ta-da! Were I able to stay? His voice trails off and his face takes on a wistful look for a few moments. Of course, you're under no obligation to look into the matter, Marcus. Consider this a courtesy call, and nothing more. He slides the sunglasses down his nose, revealing his rich brown eyes. Thought you might be interested.
Well, if it is true that these 4 are Sabbat, it is our duty as the Camarilla to get rid of them.
Theo pushes the sunglasses back up his nose and nods. Indeed. Some have forgotten this drive over the past year, Marcus. But I thought that you would still remember.
Oh, I remember quite well what we had to do, what we had to give and die for in those 7 days.
And Theo looks from you towards the sky. Not that the sun is immediately approaching, but as it approaches 5:20-ish, it's probably a good idea to eventually make your way indoors. Theo says, it is time for me to head on out of the city, so if there is a problem which pops up, Theo frowns, something greater than just some mere scouting pack sent by Polonia, you're going to have to get a hold of the sheriff. Beyond that, I can't say when I would be back. But Again, Theo shrugs. Again, it's a courtesy call. Up to you on what you decide to do with the information. Just, you have neighbors.
I'll look into it, Mr. Bell. If anything comes of it, I'll contact the sheriff.
Theo nods, and without further word, he walks around to the driver's side of his truck, and as you peer in across the windshield, yep, semi-auto's definitely there, and he drives off, leaving you standing outside of your apartment building.
Something I'll have to get the coterie together tomorrow night to talk about. And then I head on in and get to not dying.
That's right. Say what, you don't want to try to organize a sudden peek at the warehouse with the sun rapidly approaching?
Well, when you put it like that...
I mean, it's a great idea, right? The rest of you, of course, are going about your own business, whatever you all end up doing, your various side projects, or your new toys, or helping the good people of Queens. I'm sure you all can identify where you go. And but the rest of the morning passes rather unremarkably for all of you. And thus we get to Sunday night, January. I suppose, yeah, still January 4th. Woohoo! No, probably be January 5th. Yeah, we'll go January 5th. People in New York City don't know how to use calendars. It's fine. At which point, you all eventually end up rising in accordance with whatever times with the passing of the day, and you will all consume what blood point out of your blood pool? From there, though, the world is your oyster.
I'm not 100% certain, but did we agree as a coterie of a way of it contacting each other quickly or reasonably quick?
Phones, maybe?
So, phones, cell phones, might have email addresses of each other, too.
Well, first thing after I rise, I'm going to call everyone up, well, anyone who's near a phone anyways, and say we need to meet.
And I suppose that gets me to another question, too. I know given the domain you have in Astoria that your resources are invested in real estate, you guys have like a front for that? Like a building that's just solely overseen by your retainer? And you all are just like hidden behind that? Or is it just like no building front at all? Or
I think we'd probably have to have a building front, unless we want to look even shadier than we actually are.
With how many dots? With how many dots we have in resources, we almost certainly have a full-blown company.
something that, you know, not huge, but if it's managing the real estate that's happening in Astoria, then yeah. In that case, you could have O'Malley there. Miss Evelyn there, who's actually just the overseer of not just managing your real estate, but who actually overlooks the underlings in your stead.
That sounds like a good idea.
But I figured that'd be a question that I'd bring up with you guys, just to, you know, make sure I understand. It's important that I do.
So basically I call them up and say, meet at the usual place. I don't know how any of them respond, but that's what I say.
I'm probably going to let it
yeah,
go to
be right over.
voicemail, and then go do it when I check my voicemail.
Well, I have a couple of recruiters that'll probably be the ones that actually pick up the phone.
I'd say, they'd probably say hello, whatever, and I'd go, is Joseph there? You know, basically get to you if I don't get to you, you know.
Oh yeah, just FYI, you both, or not both, all three of you would know of both of my retainers, because I use them extensively for everything. They're both very well trusted by me.
Okay, so I get a hold of everyone, in some reasonable amount of time and tell them all to meet up.
All right. You all form a square and just stare awkwardly at each other.
I mean, isn't that how your social greetings go?
Among vampires, that's the hope. That's the best you can hope for.
One big staring contest.
Shit, and you guys don't even need to blink.
Gentlemen, you'll be surprised to know that I was contacted last night by Theo Bell.
Why and how?
How he was outside of my haven, and why there's some suspected Sabbat nearby.
Where?
The
Right.
glowing light in the eastern section of Steinway.
Oh, you know, now that you say that, it seems obvious.
Just like, oh, look at the golden eye that's floating in the air. Shit.
It's he said it was a warehouse over in Steinway near LaGuardia. They haven't proven that they're Sabbat, but they've suspected them because they came in out of Jersey City 2 nights ago.
What exactly does he want us to do about it?
He didn't say anything to do about it. He just said it was a courtesy call.
Nothing's ever a courtesy call.
That's right, you're all vampires.
I believe he was giving us heads up that there was a Sabbat pack nearby in case we wanted to go deal with them. Because if we go and take care of this or find out that they're not Sabbat, that might improve our standing in the city.
Is that in anyone else's domain?
No, it not to your knowledge. It is not. Steinway is actually unclaimed. It's just not really seen as important enough, and it's kind of close to Astoria. And with what you guys have done there, since you're the power of 4 who've united, any neonates who've quickly moved in after the prince's abdication have kind of shied away a bit there. There's so much other territory in the New York City metropolitan area.
Do we know the exact address of where this warehouse is?
Not that you've been given so much as an actual warehouse district. Just like lots of warehouses combined together into just like little, just like, they're not like all combined together, it's just like warehouse, little alley, warehouse.
Well, Byron would be concerned with ownership, like who actually has the deed to the property. He'd be curious and would want to get everyone looking in on that.
Again, I don't know exactly where they are. All I know is they're in the warehouse district over in Steinway. It could be the first warehouse. It could be any warehouse from there to LaGuardia.
Well, it sounds like it's snooping time.
I guess you're up.
Yeah, I think that would be time for you, David. Do you know if you know anything about this warehouse district in Steinway, or if your friends in the sewers know anything?
I could probably roll, what, intelligence plus streetwise?
There are so many warehouses across the New York City metropolitan area. There has nothing that has been up to this very night so distinguishing as to actually give you the idea to even think of these warehouses. And the fact that they hold trade goods for folks who might end up using LaGuardia Airport instead of, say, JFK International. And some of them are abandoned, some of them aren't.
Looks like we're gonna have to go do some... We're gonna have to get up close and personal with this one.
Or at least do drive-by auspex.
Love it.
Is that a vampire type of war driving there?
No, it's driving around with someone who has auspex in the back seat and a window rolled down.
It's
Right.
like you just sitting in the back. The Ventru and Toreador is sitting in the back. Byron pushes Marcus's head out. Quick, scan him!
So yeah, I'm thinking drive-by auspex and me on the ground invisible.
Who has a car?
I have a car.
Good, you're driving.
I was thinking about that. You need a big white van. I mean, you have a church. You know, you got to go with the whole deal there.
No, it needs to be a black van with no license plates. Duh.
That doesn't sound very safe to me, Aaron.
I think I'm just gonna stick with the 4-door.
So I think we're mounting up and heading to Steinway.
Okay. Query, Sean,
Yes?
does your character have any skill points in drive?
No, but at least one of my retainers does.
Alright then, one of your retainers then will have to be driving for you.
Question, could I drive and do the auspex at the same time?
I don't know if you want to distract yourself like that.
Does anyone here have any drive skill?
I do, but I'm going to be invisible on the ground.
I say leave it to the retainer because my dex is not up to snuff on that either.
That's fine. Can't really say that your retainer is the best driver that anyone has ever seen, but compared to someone who doesn't even know how to drive, it's not bad.
Either can have the car going straight in a straight line or having it go into a pole. I'd rather have go in a straight line.
I thought it was a worthwhile question. He's just like, alright, you have the 4-door. Do you have drive?
Apparently not.
Now in that case, I was just gonna... So, Aaron, is David just gonna be walking there from Astoria to Steinway, or are you just like hitching a ride most of the way, or...
I'm just going to take the subway.
Okay.
We live in New York. Come on.
Well, I don't know.
I was thinking just pushing him in the trunk.
Blue rollerball the entire way.
Yeah, Nosferatu would certainly definitely be capable of, certainly, definitely, possibly, probably, maybe, unlikely, be able to take the subway there. Not a big deal. Probably take them a little bit longer than, the driving, unless they run into a car accident or something.
Maybe. I mean, it really depends on what the traffic is like on this particular night at this time of night.
Indeed. It's, Sunday night, so people are always going to be partying, right? That's how New York City works, right? Everyone's partying every night.
Oh yeah, totally, especially in like Astoria.
It's just like my college, only, you know, instead of several thousand kids, it's, millions.
I don't know about you guys, but it's a party wherever Marcus goes.
The party follows you.
He's driving the... Well, I suppose he's not driving the party wagon because he's too busy,
Sticking
Byron
his
is
head
too
out
busy
the-
holding his head out of the window.
How many fangirls you have with you there?
It's like, do you see anything? I'm like, Jordan, you need to roll, some sensitivity checks due to your heightened senses because Byron is now yelling at you. Okay then. So in that case, Joseph gets his retainer, one of his nice retainers who's kind enough to drive the vehicle. And, see, David goes ahead and takes the subway, and you all make your way out from your Astoria meeting locale, assuming you didn't want to do anything else before you left.
I'm actually going to get my gun and carry it with me. The small one.
Okay. Anyone else have anything they wanted to do?
Yeah, Byron is going to have his gun. He doesn't really go anywhere without it anyway.
Okay.
Nah.
I'd prefer to be carrying my gun.
Alright. I mean, suspected Sabat, you know, not a big deal or anything, right?
It's not going to do anything to them. It just, you know, that just makes us feel better.
Oh, vampires. I'll get my knife.
I was say, you guys did tell me whenever you were getting your weapons, we don't usually carry those around with us. Like, okay.
We don't, but I mean, if we're going Sabat hunting.
Yep. That's why I asked. You know, just wanted to make sure. You all have anything else you wanted to do before you packed up and boogied?
Nope.
Alright then, you all pack up and boogie. And the Nosferatu, rather easily, and, you know, it's child's play for him to disguise himself. And no one really pays him a second thought. There's no kid who has, like, aspects of 4 who's going to harass him about why he's trying to hide from people. His trip is fairly uneventful, and the night is still very rich, many hours before even dawn threatens you all. As for the drive there, with the retainer and the 3 vampires, pretty uneventful. Streets have traffic bustling in them. It's not so late at night. Maybe you're looking around 10 p.m., we'll say. Still lots of traffic on the streets. As you leave the Astoria neighborhood and make your way towards the warehouse district. In fact, traffic definitely slows down a lot less as you get onto less traveled thoroughfares. Not a whole lot of people are heading towards warehouses at this particular time of the evening. As for the number of warehouses themselves, I suppose we'll say you're looking at about 16.
Alright, so I guess we're gonna drive down the street, stick my head out, I'm just gonna stare.
Okay.
I guess that's what we're doing, unless anyone else has a better idea. Anybody?
I mean,
Sounds
except
pretty accurate.
scoping out, see if anyone's moving around. I mean, we can do that while we're doing the Auspex thing.
This is a pretty poorly lit locale. These warehouses tend to not be, apparently they're like not as affluent. There is no like centralized security guards thing. There's not even like a fence surrounding like the entire district. Poorly lit. Some of the warehouses are obviously showing signs of abandonment. They are in clear disarray and disrepair. But given how poorly lit this situation is, and it's too difficult to make a lot of details out. With the heightened senses, though, you hear the car running, and you hear the people in the vehicle as the retainer drives. You're not picking up any sort of crazy insight, though.
I got nothing, guys.
Want to get out and walk it on foot?
Well, we're gonna have to, because I'm pretty sure this car's not gonna fit down one of those alleyways.
Aaron, your character has reached the warehouse district. Other than a car that appears to be weaving between the various warehouses, there doesn't appear to be anyone else here.
And the car, do I recognize that, or am I just going to have to assume it's them?
It's, as it passes under one of the rare lampposts, it looks like Joseph's vehicle.
Okay. Well, I'm going to, I suppose I'm going to go around and look for any buildings that look like they've been broken into or aren't locked.
Alright. That's a reasonable course of action. You folks in the vehicle, what are you 3 doing? 4 if you count the retainer, but you might want to leave him with the vehicle.
I think we're gonna get out and walk the around the warehouses, and I'm just going to keep auspex on in case I hear anything.
Should we stay as a group or split up? My inclination is to stay as a group.
You should obviously split up. Don't you know anything about how, like, anything works?
True. But I'm going to go the way less traveled.
According to Robert Frost, that did make all the difference.
There you go.
Think we should stay as a group. Well, Joseph, you've got obfuscate, right?
Yep.
If shit gets real, you can always just stealth away, and then me and Byron will have to deal with whatever comes our way.
We just got to flash those pearly whites, fangs or no.
So you folks then, the two characters with obfuscate end up splitting off onto their own to do their own sort of investigation as they prowl around these buildings, whereas the Toreador with auspex and the Ventrue stick together, and the what do you want your retainer to do, Joseph?
Take a little while to drive around away. Drive basically further away from us so that if anyone starts following him, they'll follow him away.
Okay.
And come back in an hour or so.
Alright. Definitely reasonable. In that case, you folks spend some time doing that again. 16 warehouses. Some of them definitely have like trucks outside, and some of them are obviously, in operation, and they might have guards who are inside. They're lit. The interior is definitely lit. You can assume that the abandoned warehouses then are the ones that don't actually have any lights on inside of them. And the abandoned warehouses, there are 6 of them out of the 16. Folks, continue your investigation. Given the poor lighting and whatever, is it alertness or awareness that governs mundane seeing things?
I think it's alertness.
I'm not sure. I'll look it up.
Say. Okay, alertness is right. Yeah, it's your mundane things. In that case, go ahead, everyone, and give me perception plus alertness. Difficulty 7.
Do I get the bonus from trained observer for this?
Yes.
Perception specialty tactical?
Not so much.
Is this seeing? Because I have acute sense sight.
Definitely seeing based.
Okay, so I believe that lowers the difficulty for me by 2.
Yeah.
All right, that's 3 successes for me.
I see nothing.
God damn it, Crip. And with the difficulty 7, that appears to be 3 successes for Sean.
Yep.
And 3 successes for the Toreador.
Including a 10.
Definitely. Well, let's see. Fears Sean actually had 1 success removed due to the roll, but he still passed. It's only Byron who's tagging along with the Auspex guy anyway, who failed. In that case, then Byron is happy, doing his best to remain alert. The light is just so damn dim, though. It's really hard to make much sense or spot any sort of thing at all. Frustratingly so. As for the other characters, you all, curiously enough, through your own separate means of meandering, it's taken you all a good 45 minutes to an hour. because you're just looking around for any signs of where, a door might be open, easily accessible, and with the whole idea of like maybe an abandoned warehouse, assuming that you've all actually ended up around the same warehouse. Where, in particular, one of the metal doors off the side of this warehouse is, it's not on its two hinges. It's kind of hanging off, almost as if it's just a thread separating it from a falling, and there is a big dent on the exterior of it.
This clearly isn't the place we're looking for.
It is completely pitch black inside.
So, who brought a flashlight? Am I the only one who brought a flashlight?
Seems that way.
I mean, you're the only trained investigator here, come on.
I'm going to hand the flashlight to someone that doesn't turn invisible.
How about someone with more than 3 perception and no alertness? That might be awesome.
So, Byron?
Wait, is that what you have too? All right, fine. Guess I'll take it.
I mean, I have 2 perception and 2 alertness. The only reason I got the same amount of successes is because it was a sight-based thing.
Now, Byron, whatever you do, don't immediately shine the flashlight upon the Toreador's eyes.
You mean like this?
It might hurt him.
Man, that almost takes a willpower check, but yeah, I won't do it.
Well, if it's a willpower check that's required, you're the best qualified person here.
There we go. Can I just take a pass on that one?
Sure. You all make a little powwow upon the campfire that is the eye. In that case, then, you 4 are standing outside the warehouse where the side entrance has been thoroughly demolished, and obviously someone has gotten into it. Pitch dark outside. What do you all wish to do now that Byron has the flashlight?
Someone or something.
I smacked David in the back of the head. That is so cliche.
Does someone have a discipline that can make a noise at some other place? I read something about that. I just don't remember which discipline it was.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
totally.
it's called
throwing a rock.
Discipline throwing a rock. Hope you guys didn't put any of your freebie points into that.
Damn it! I don't have any in throwing a rock.
All right, fine. Someone throws a rock, I guess. I don't know. I guess we should stand around the corner and throw a rock in front of the door and see if anyone comes out.
All right then. You all bunch them together like little beautiful neonates do, as they're all skittish and peering around the corner cautiously.
Hell no, I stand away from everyone. I can turn invisible. I'm on the other end of the alleyway.
Yeah, I'm not staying near guys that can't turn invisible.
All right. So the 2 Obfuscate brothers, they hang out together and play Nintendo, whereas the Toreador just sighs right next to Byron, who's holding the flashlight. Noise is made. How long do you all want to wait?
Like a minute and a half before I just go in.
You wait a minute and a half. Nothing responds. All you hear is the sound of the breathing around you.
Then I'm heading in and I'm going to keep sneaking just in case they have auspex.
Wait. Breathing. Vampires don't need to breathe.
That's true.
No! David is walking in perfectly fine. It's okay. You guys were respirating in suspense because of Byron's flashlight capabilities. It's fine. It didn't mean anything. I'm being serious on that one.
Okay.
It was a
yeah.
nice catch if I was trying to shield that one, but no, it wasn't a trick or anything. But I will say, though, David's walking into pitch darkness. He cannot see beyond, like, the thin light that comes in and just streams into the door there a little bit. It is totally dark in here.
I'm going to whisper to Byron, remember next time to bring road flares.
Well, if you guys don't mind, I'll stay outside and keep watch.
Are you fucking kidding me? A vampire lighting a road flare?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
I hope you're prepared to spend willpower to not immediately fail that courage.
I've got a pretty high courage, but I'll probably still have to roll the willpower.
Let's say, I think to have like a flare in your hand, I might have to make that like an 8.
Shit.
I mean, that's a pretty big source of fire right there in your hand.
Okay,
And it's
okay.
hot and bright, too.
Okay, I've got it. You know what the kids are always doing these days? Raves. We need to get some glow sticks.
You know, that's actually a decent idea. You know,
the
for like
tornado
another
doesn't
time.
I mean, the tornado doesn't carry them on him all the time?
Dude, he's a subtle punk. He's a subtle punk, not some, like, crazy raver. He doesn't have, like, jars of glitter and glow sticks everywhere.
Not only is he so punk, he's so subtly punk too, man. You can't be rude like that.
Exactly. He's a subtle punk. He's not all over the top like that. Come on, guy.
Whatever.
All right. Do
Just
my
next
eyes
time.
adjust?
You adjust to pitch darkness. It really is. Like, beyond the doorway where a little bit of light's being cast in, there is nothing. No light filtering in. If there are any windows in the warehouse, they've been boarded up or otherwise covered.
God damn it. Alright, I'm going to do the bare minimum amount of feeling for a light switch, and if I don't find one, I'm heading back out.
Alright, the Nosferatu does a bare feeling of, on either side, looking for a light switch. You, as you're touching around the side of the door, you didn't quite notice this at the time, so focused on trying to adjust to the darkness, but, your hand on the side of the wall touches something very sticky and very wet, and it is redolent of blood. Which is quite surprising. You would have figured that you would have noticed something as awesome as blood.
Alright, in that case, I'm definitely going to head out of the warehouse to get a better look at it under the streetlight.
Okay. You, it was on the side of the wall, whatever you were touching. That was actually on a light switch, which you didn't promptly tried before you headed out, and there was a little flickering to suggest that something might be attempting to come to life, but no lights.
Okay.
And as you head out, and that is definitely blood on your hand. You can smell it. It is good. Because, doesn't just seem like, normal, everyday, run-of-the-mill kind blood. It's blood on your fingers. But you're not hungry, so you're fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually I've got a pretty good amount in me.
You're good.
So yeah, I'm going to take a good look at it under a streetlight. Maybe get my flashlight back and take a good look at it. See what I can tell about it. Maybe even take a little tiny taste of it.
Well, it's blood on your fingers that your fingers rubbed against whenever you're feeling for a light switch, and your fingers came away with it.
Right, but I'm trying to see like what temperature it's still at, see if it's coagulated at all, see if I can all sorts of stuff.
Well, it might be difficult to do that while you have it on your fingers there, having rubbed it off of something. There wasn't like an actual body that you got it from. It was the light switch area.
I know there's not that information to get, just seeing what I can.
Yeah. It just, a little bit of tasting. It, doesn't tastes like mortal blood.
Does it taste like immortal blood, or does it taste like animal blood, or...
Your character would know. Yeah, it seems like there's some sort of spark of energy that you're trying to get from it. There's not a whole lot to really drain sustenance from it. But the beast dwelling within you gets excited at the prospect.
Huh. Alright, I'm gonna clean my hand off with a handkerchief and put on a pair of latex gloves, and then head back in.
Okay.
How long has this taken, by the way? Because Byron's impatient. So.
You're basically seeing now the Nosferatu. He peeked his head in. He comes out. He's standing under a lamp post after he gets his flashlight back from you. He is studying what appears to be a blood substance on his hand. He wipes it off. He puts on latex gloves and goes back in. If you guys want to do anything, feel free. You can interrupt him. Maybe ask him, what the fuck are you doing?
How do they make latex gloves that fit those hands?
You know, they're extra large gloves. They don't really quite fit per se, but good enough. Why?
Just a thought. I think I'm going to walk the entirety around the perimeter of the warehouse, see if there's any other way in. I'll take Byron with me.
Actually, give me back my flashlight.
It's yours.
Alright. I'm going to turn it on and toss it in to the warehouse.
Yeah, that's what Byron was going to do if you failed the ball.
Enough that I'm hopefully not going to break the bulb in it. Just kind of a soft lob.
How about give me a strength? Just messing with you. Okay then. As Byron and I suppose Byron's heading with the Toreador to those two just to look around the exterior of the building. David, Aaron's character, tosses the flashlight in. It goes a little bit. Vampires are pretty strong, but he knows that it'd be a horrible idea to break the only light source that they really had. And light sails around for a bit. There's a lot of wooden boxes in the warehouse from the light that's being cast around, as it, dimly radiates everything around. Lots of boxes. There's lots of also splinters, where apparently boxes have been broken. And smashed. And a curious indenture where the flashlight ends up landing, as if apparently the concrete itself is cracked, and there's a small little dip in it. Not too big, but the whole idea of the fact that the concrete itself is fucking cracked is a big deal.
Okay, and now that there's a light source in there, there should be at least a little bit of ambient light, right? I mean, not enough to see well, but enough to just basically see.
A little bit of ambient light. The warehouse itself is pretty big, and with the boxes stacked on top of each other as they are, especially with a second story on top of this, you can't see a whole lot, but it is a little bit to give you that sense of what I've described to you.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to obfuscate back up and slip back in.
Okay. Jordan, your character notes that there are definitely main loading bay doors. Metal, those are closed shut. There aren't any trucks outside of them. There's two main loading bay doors, both metal. There's also another door that is made of metal that's actually closed and not broken. It looks as if a door is supposed to look whenever it hasn't been smashed off a hinge. You tried, it's locked.
Okay, well, at least if they're locked, that means don't have to worry about them for now.
Right. As for the loading metal bay doors, I mean, you would, assumingly it's locked on the other side, you'd have to have some strength there to shove it up.
You know what? I'm not going to do that right now.
Okay. Sean, Crip, your characters do anything?
I actually want to take a moment to look around, see if there's any obvious traces of anyone going to or from the place.
Okay. Suppose this is a question I'm going to have to ask the group here. What sort of thing would be used if you're, like, trying to track footprints? Is that, like, a perception plus investigation? Is there, like, a survival or tracking skill? I know there's a survival skill, but it wouldn't be used in this situation. What would be used?
I think investigation would be appropriate, at least.
Okay, perception plus investigation then. I was just polling everyone else to see whether they had a better idea of something else. We'll go ahead and make that difficulty 6.
All right, then I have 2 successes.
Oh, you weren't talking at all. I was wondering what the hell you were testing against. I guess you were testing along with it too. You're helping that character. Alright.
Oh, right, never mind. I thought I was with him. I'm with the other guy. Never mind.
I was wondering what you were testing for, Grip. I was confused. I mean, if you want to test for it, it's fine. I was just, I hadn't heard anything from you at all. I didn't know whether you had the idea, whether you were standing next to...
I'm with Marcus. I just
okay.
got confused who I was with.
Alright, that's fine. In that case, I do believe that is 2 successes with the 1 subtracting from 1. So 2 successes. Alright then. In that case, quick cursory examination stuff does give you several ideas of footprints, which you deduce to be the Nosferatus, the Toreadors, the Ventrus, yours, and there are several other tracks, appearing to be 4 distinct ones, you would say, that have trafficked basically from the edges of where the street is to through that door that is barely hanging on.
Nothing really more than just information of what we already know.
Well, I mean, he didn't say there were any footprints leading away from the door.
There's the Nosferatus. Whenever he walked out, the traffic does go both ways between those 4 footprints that you don't know. As for the distinctive, like, footprint types themselves, I don't think your character knows enough about profiling people based upon, walking length and
2 successes probably wouldn't be enough for that anyways.
Shoe size.
I'll take a look at it and list.
Alright. Okay, as for your character, Aaron, he enters into the very dimly and the confined narrow limits where the flashlight has ended up landing. You can see boxes and, of course, that little dip in the concrete. It goes down a good inch or 2, and it is cracked. It's not, like, completely broken so as to, show off all the other ground beneath it, but something pressed really hard there at one point.
Alright, well, first things first, I'm gonna look around and make sure that I appear to be alone in here.
You do appear to be alone. As you're walking deeper into the warehouse, though, especially combined with what you smelled on your fingers, the blood smell is more apparent. It's a little confusing that you didn't actually smell that while outside, or maybe that the Toreador didn't pick it up with heightened senses.
Okay, that was actually going to be the second thing I was asking about, like, blood spray patterns and stuff. I'm going to take a look at the blood on the wall and see if there's any other blood visible.
Okay, as you pick up the flashlight and take a closer look at the light switch that you had touched, it's definitely a series of light switches which It seems like whenever you flip them on, they want to flicker on, but